Good morning, everybody. Once again, this is Paul McMillan II, and welcome to another live New York session. And of course, we're going to do a top-down analysis on NAS100. So it's May 25th, 2022. Let's check the news here. So the New York session is pretty much starting. The USD is going to be a little bit under some major news as usual. The USD is going to be under some, and then around 2 o'clock, the US dollar is seriously going to be under some major news. Crazy inflation, I tell you. The New Zealand dollar is going to be under some major news around 5 o'clock. So of course I'm going to be trading against that US dollar, no question. So we want to do our normal top-down analysis. We're going to start from the 15-minute to the 4-hour time frame. So let me go back as far as I can in price and then get started. Be right back. All right, so this is as far back as we can go. So once again, we're going to plant our flag here, which is our vertical line. All right. And so now we're going to mark up support resistance. And I mark off my support and resistance based off of strong support and resistance levels because that lets me know that pretty much the institutional banks are actually pushing the markets and pushing that volume. So you can see where price is hitting these areas once or twice and making huge moves, coming back down again and pushing price all the way up. You can kind of see that here as well. A huge down move here. That's the institutional move. So these are the levels that we want to find ourselves in order to get the most consistent moves. So, you know, it's out the way. And then I want to mark my zones behind these as well. This is going to be green, not green, yellow. All right. So now we're going to move on to the 30-minute time frame to do the same exact thing. So we're going to go all the way back to where we left off. Pretty much left off here. So I'm going to put my vertical line here. And I'm going to put a horizontal line up here. I'm going to make it green because that represents the 30-minute time frame. I'm going to get it down here. We want to draw our zones. Light green. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the 1 hour. So here's all this we haven't marked up yet. And this is the vertical line here. And look at all this. Make this red. The next one here. right here. Right here, maybe. Yeah, I think I might be last one down here. And so then we're going to draw our zones for these. Like these red. Excuse me, guys, my allergies are acting up. Change of weather. So I might have made this a little too close, maybe. Let's pull this down, maybe down. That might be more appropriate. Zone here, and then the zone right here, right? So now, so we'll move on to the 4-hour time frame. Actually, did I plant my vertical line for the 1 hour? I think I did. So I'm going to put my vertical line. Now we're going to move on to the 4-hour time frame. So as you can see, we marked up our zones super crisp. And so now this is where current price is at. Now I'm probably just going to draw a zone right down to here. And then make this purple. All right, and then I'm going to go back to the 15-minute time frame, and then we're going to figure out our sniper entry. So now, actually, let me go back. I made the zone a little too far down, maybe up to here. So I probably could do that. Let me do this. There we go. All right, so at this point, we have completed step 1. Let me pause this recording, then we'll move on to step 2. Be right back. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually move on to step 2. So now we're going to identify the trend. We can clearly see on the RSI here. And we can actually see it here that price is trending downward. We can kind of see a downward pattern here as well. So at this point, I just conclude that price is trending down. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a note of this. There is trend line. Right. Now we have that. Now we're going to actually turn on a higher high, higher low risk strategy. Higher high, lower low strategy indicator. We're going to locate the most recent high and the most recent low to where current price is at. So this is the most recent low here. This is the closest support where price is at. And then of course, I would say that this is the most recent high. Maybe right here, I might adjust it down. This is the most recent resistance that I can see to where price is closest to. So then what I do is I make these my break and retest lines, which I call the X factor horizontal lines, because it helped me to determine which way price could go. But if they break and retest and give me a confirmed break and retest along with my other confirmation, then that's when I make my decision where to buy and sell, depending on where price is going. So now that I have set that, now that I have set that, that's when I go ahead. Let me do something here. There we go. Adjust my screen so you guys can see it better. Yeah, that is probably more appropriate. I might actually make the zone a lot skinnier. Just down here so that way we can see our floor. That's better. All right. Now, so then the very next thing I do is just turn on my order block indicator, because now I want to find order blocks, imbalances in the market, so on and so forth. Now, for what I'm seeing, when I look at the previous move here, there was an imbalance move here. They've already came back to mitigate that area. So it's a possibility that, I mean, they definitely could come back and mitigate half of this area and then send it down. So if that happens, I will adjust these break and retest zones as time goes on when we get closer to the 930 bell. But I can see, this is just what I'm thinking, I can see them coming back to mitigate half of this area because of this imbalance move, and then making price drop once again, maybe to the next zone. If they make a drop to the next zone, then they're probably just trying to mitigate all this area, maybe send it down here, and then eventually they're going to decide to bring it back up. But it's also a high possibility that they could bring price to come all the way down here, pull it back, and then shoot all the way to fill this imbalance. And let's not forget that there's a lot of imbalance here that they haven't mitigated yet from this previous down move back here. So now we have an idea of which way price could go. It just depends on what they want to do. And whatever way they want to move price, that's where we need to go. That's the key. Now, the next thing I like to do is turn on my order block indicator. And see, there was an order block here. So they could have price come back to mitigate this area and get a liquidity and then decide to send it back down again. Very possible. We'll see. So now that I know that, I want to turn off the order block indicator at this point. And then this is where I'm going to start doing my take profit zones. Now, since there's a lot of imbalance in this area, a lot of that, I'm going to probably conclude that maybe price is probably could push up. But I still think that price is overall bearish at this point. But I'm going to go ahead and put my take profit zones. So if price pushes above here and breaks and retest, then I'll probably jump to the conclusion that maybe they're trying to come back and mitigate this area and then go down. And I could trade that if I wanted to. So I could probably put, I'm gonna go ahead and set my risk to reward tools. That's what I'm gonna do. So if price sells, it breaks and retest, and then I'm going to take it down at least down to this next zone here. So I would want to get at least 10 pips worth of NAS. So I can get it at this point. The first TP will be here. second one, I probably would just put maybe down here. And that would be a total of over 1,300 pips and NAS. Then of course I could probably just bring this zone up to here, since that's as far as I would have to go. Now keep in mind, there are no imbalances here they have to fill. They already medicated this area. So since they already kind of medicated this move, they'll probably medicate that move, which could probably cause some imbalance, and then they'll probably sell it down and then have a break this structure. And then if it does, it'll probably go up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the risk reward tool for the buy as well, just in case the price happens to buy up, because it could happen. But there's a lot of imbalance that they got to fill up here and up here. So I'm just taking that into consideration as well. The key about this indicator is that we see insufficiency in price, so we have more of an idea of where price could go. It's just a question of where is it going to go first when it comes to mitigating imbalances. So that's going to be take profit 1. And if price for some reason decide to buy way up here, I'll make it take profit 2. You never know. And that's going to be 2,000 pips and NAS. So now I got all that set. Now, the higher high, low, low risk strategy. We have a new line here because price is pushing down. So then what I'm going to do is probably adjust this and bring it down here. So it's closer for a break and retest. This is going to probably be yeah, I'll just do that. And this is the most recent here. I might, as time goes on, depending on the 930 bell, depending on where we're at, I might adjust this, put this closer, but I'm just leave this here. Then we'll see which way price breaks and retest and goes up. But we have an idea of where price could go. I wouldn't be surprised if they shoot price all the way up to here, and then it hits some liquidity up here. Like I mentioned before, you turn on the order block finder. This was the last order block. They could bring price all the way back up to here to grab liquidity and then further sell it down. Now, since I'm an experienced trader, I probably would maybe buy it up to this point if I get my money and then jump out. Now, if for some crazy reason, price happens to come up and mitigate this area and they start to sell before the 930 bell, then I'm selling. Or if it breaks this and sell, then I'm done in. But we'll see where we're at 930 bell. So what I'm going to do is pause this recording because I'm going to set my alarm for my take profit zones. Then we're going to move on to the next step. Be right back. All right, so I went ahead and set my alarms for the take profit zones. Funny thing about it is, I can see price actually kind of pushing up, and it's probably pushing up because I'm probably starting to mitigate half of this imbalance move that they did previously on this sell before they decide to drop it down again. Let me actually turn this off so we can see price better. And that's what I'm starting to see, but there's a wick here. So it looks like it's probably gathering liquidity up in here. So once we get closer to the 930 bell, we're going to get an idea of what price is at. And then we can adjust our take profit zones and do all that later. So that's no problem. Sometimes we have to do that to make sure that we're in the right position. But what I want to do is go to the next step and turn on the Delorean EMA indicator. Now, I use this indicator because it's very, very good indicator to use as extra confirmation on top of the type of analysis I do. So typically, once I figure out my market structure, figure out what moves the institutions have made and more likely what moves they're going to make moving forward, then I use a Delorean EMA indicator to see if the red EMA the yellow EMA crosses the red EMA, especially if it's below the 50 EMA. And usually when that's the case, it's usually a sign that price is already in a strong trend and about to continue it. And then sometimes it means it may reverse. Now in this case, the yellow EMA has already crossed the red EMA. Now they could come back and mitigate this area and then continue to go down. If that's the case, and the yellow EMA is still below the red EMA, then that's a sign that they're ready to go for another round in the bearish trend. But if it crosses over here and the yellow EMA crosses the red EMA and goes up, and especially if it's above the blue, it's usually a sign that there's a very strong bullish trend coming, which could be a possibility because we still have a lot of imbalance here that needs to be filled and up here. But we won't know for sure until the 930 bell as time moves forward. So what I'm going to do until the 930 bell is I'm going to turn on the order block indicator again. And I'm going to be paying attention to this whole area and see what price does against it. That way, when we get to the 930 bell, we'll get an idea if price is coming back to medicate this and is going to sell down, then we can adjust our take profit lines and all that. Or price is just going to come up and resist this and then go down a little bit further. That's what I'm going to look for. One more thing I want to do before I turn this order block finder on is turn this on. This is the closest resistance up here. Now, at some point, depending on the 930 bell, if I see where price is going, I will push this closer to price and wait for a clean break and retest, amongst everything else. But we're going to wait for the 930 bell and see where we're at with that. So that's where we're at. That's what I'm going to wait for. So I'm going to pause this recording and wait for the 930 bell. Let's see what time it is. It's 8:39, so we got less than an hour before that happens. So we'll see where we're at when we get closer to the 930 bell and if we need to make adjustments. All right, so stay tuned and I'll be right back. All right, so it's 8:48. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move this up a little bit more closer to these wicks here, just to kind of make a little bit of adjustment. Let me do this real quick here. Put it up to like right there. Like it that way. So that's what I'm going to do at this point. But I'm gonna definitely be keeping an eye on price now and adjusting as much as I need. See what price is going to do. So we'll see. 930 bell is going to let us know for sure. So might put an extra trim on it. So that's what we'll do at this point. It's not 850. We'll see what the next couple of candles do. Then we'll know for sure pretty much what price is probably going to go. Then we'll readjust our take profit zones and our break and retest lines at that point, and then wait for the 930 bell. So we'll see. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so we have 30 seconds left until the next candle, and there's going to be another 15 minutes before the 9:30 bell. It could be a high possibility that price is probably going to buy up. But I see this order block here. It probably might buy up to this point. Maybe hit this liquidity here, then maybe sell again. But you have to understand there's a possibility it could buy up as well. There's a lot of imbalance here they got to fill up, and then just looking at the price action, that could be the case. So we'll know soon at the 9:30 bell. So we got another over 14, another 14 minutes. I might possibly go ahead and put in my stop loss and take profit for the buy and do that. And then if push comes to shove, if price ends up going the other way, I can always adjust. Put in my stop loss and take profit for the buy. See where we're at. 1.602. That's in for the buy. But we'll see. We'll see what it does. So we'll see in about less than 13 minutes. Be right back. All right, guys, so we got over a minute left before the 9:30 bell. So we want to see what's going to happen. See a lot of wick here. It's probably going to bounce back and forth, but we'll see. We will see. So once it gets 10 seconds, I'll resume this recording. Be right back. So we got showtime. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what happens at the 9:30 bell. It looks like she is pushing up. But I want to wait for a clean break and retest. I see a wick here. I wonder what she's going to do. We'll see. I'm not jumping yet. Pushing. Probably wait for the next candle, see what's popping. She's kind of resisting this area. Let's push it past, but see, it's kind of that wick. Probably knocking out those retail traders, maybe. I'll wait for the next candle, see what happens. Let me pause this recording. All right, I'll put in for the buy. Let's see what it does. Go ahead and share my phone screen. Oh, I'm in profit. Let me close it and then share my phone screen. Hold on. Just there. All right. There we go. Close my first partial trade. Good, $59. Let me share my phone screen here. Hold on for a minute. Let me trail my stop loss. It looks like I'm buying up, so let me trail the stop loss first. $46. Okay. So 11768.8. All right, so I trailed my stop loss. Let me stop sharing my screen and share my phone screen because I got my profit. All right, so made $59 on my first partial trade. Second one still running. See how far I go. So I'm gonna keep on riding it. Look at that. I'm liking that. Back. Let me share my main screen. Like it's pushing. So I'm gonna go ahead and close $45 of profit, 43, $102 profit. Bam. So let me share my phone screen so I can show you guys. $102 profit. Bam. And of course, this is in my live account, so this is good. So I got my money there. Let's see what else price does. I'm going to share it for now. Oh my goodness, it really went up.
Oh wait.
My goodness. Some told me it was going to buy up though.
Oh, we know our stuff, baby boy. It's a blessing to have this skill set. Oh my God. You are not trading. I urge you to jump in with us and learn this skill set. Be recession proof, baby. That's all I gotta say.
I will pause this recording. Be right back. Gotta do a couple of things here.
I ain't putting in no more pending orders. Yep. I'm not putting in no more orders. I'm riding what I got.
All that imbalance they had to get to. So, yep. Come back down a little bit.
Oh my God, that is sexy. That is just beautiful. All right, so pull it back a little bit on the 5. All right. My leverage can handle it. I ain't closing nothing. Get down. Get down. You want crackers? Here. Here.
All right, so since I made my money, I'm going to go ahead and
oh, I dare you to close right now. I'm sick of you with your scalping behind. Ride with me, dude.
I'm done.
All right, skip, man. I'm sick of you.
I'm done for right now. I'm getting there.